Welcome everybody to Against the Spread. This is your host DW, bringing you a special guest today. This is my good buddy Wilson.
Hey, nice to be with you this week. Appreciate the invite to join you on your podcast and give a little different insight to the football.
Right, we got to give our fans some different views on this.
Right, it might be a little arguing, ain't no telling.
Right, this week we're going to talk about the Rams and the Saints and the Patriots and the Chiefs. It was a good weekend of football. Definitely better than last weekend.
Yes, close games and overtime, both of them.
Yep.
I think it's the first time in the history of the NFL, both championship games that went into the overtime.
Yep. All right, so let's get started. First, we got the Rams and the Saints. It was 26-23 in overtime. Really good game. What'd you think about it, Wilson?
It was really great. Better than, like you said, the last few weeks. It was pretty close, and both teams did pretty good.
So what you got, Wilson? What you got for the Saints on the offensive side of the ball?
Saints, I got Drew Brees going 26 of 40, 249 yards, two touchdowns, one interception, 2 sacks for 7 yards. And Taysom Hill, for what it's worth, he was 0 for 1, 0 yards, which put the Saints at 26 of 41 for 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Nice. It looks like the Rams went 26 of 41 on their side of the ball, too.
Yeah, exactly the same thing.
Yeah. We got Jared Goff throwing 25 of 40 for 297. He had 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He got sacked 1 time, and then the GOAT right here, Johnny Hekker.
Hey, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Look at that. On the fake punt. I know you'll love some fake punts, Wilson.
Yes, that's my all-time Madden go-to.
That's right. All right, so Johnny Hekker went 1 for 1 for 12 yards. A big 4th down conversion when the Rams really needed one. All right. So what'd you think about the passing? How even was this? This was about as close as it could get, don't you think, Wilson?
Yes, it was pretty even.
Yeah.
Had a lot of receivers getting in on the action. That's really what you need this time of the year.
Yep.
You don't need 1 or 2 receivers. You need everybody to step up when you need it.
Yep.
It's how you get to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
More people you got.
Yep. For the Saints, you got Kamara going 11 for 96. You got Ted Ginn going 3 for 58, especially with that long bomb down the sideline.
Yeah.
You got Michael Thomas going 4 for 36. You got Hill going 1 for 24. Then you got Griffin, tight end, going 2 for 12 with 1 touchdown. And then you got Taysom Hill with 1 catch for 2 yards and a touchdown. Drew Brees definitely put the ball around this week.
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
I got Los Angeles receiving.
Yep.
I got Brandon Cooks, 7 receptions for 107 yards. Josh Reynolds, 4 receptions for 74 yards. Gerald Everett, 2 receptions for 50 yards. Robert Woods, 6 receptions for 33 yards. Tyler Higbee, 4 receptions for 25 yards. Sam Shields, 1 reception, 12 yards. C.J. Anderson, 1 reception, 5 yards, and Todd Gurley, 1 reception for 3 yards.
Yep.
And Tyler Higbee, sorry I missed that.
Yep.
He did have 1 touchdown reception.
That's right. And then Sam Shields, he had the reception on the fake punt, defensive player.
Yes.
Kamara, he wasn't much of on the Saints side, he wasn't much of a factor in the run game this week, but he made up for it with his play in the pass game.
Yes.
Catching little short passes.
New Orleans has been, this year has been doing a lot of that, screen passes and stuff.
That's right.
And getting the ball out fast, That helps your offensive line when you can get the ball out fast like that.
And then you got players like Kamara who can make plays in the open field, make a player miss, and then it busts big ones.
Yes, that's what you need this day in the NFL, I think. I think more teams are starting to lean towards that. And,
Yep. Like you see Carolina with Christian McCaffrey, he's probably going to be Offensive Player of the Year this year.
Should be. I mean, he means a lot to that Carolina team.
He was everything for Carolina this year.
I mean, he played 97% of the snaps or something close to it, so that's pretty much, a lot of playing time for a running back.
Speaking about Carolina, let's talk about C.J. Anderson. He had a big game last week. He started the season with Carolina.
Yep. He just didn't fit Carolina's scheme, though.
Yeah.
He's more of a power rusher, and I think he's going to do good things with Los Angeles because that fits his style. They're, a power rushing team, and I think he'll do a good job there. But C.J. Anderson this week didn't have quite the week he had last week.
No, they were ready for him this week.
But he had 16 carries for 44 yards. Josh Reynolds had one carry for 16 yards. Todd Gurley had 4 carries for 10. Jared Goff, 3 carries for 10 yards. And I don't even want to put this one in there, but Robert Woods, he had 2 carries for -3 yards.
-3 yards. Sad.
And Todd Gurley did have
had the rushing
carry,
touchdown.
rushing touchdown.
The Rams as a whole went 26 for 77 as a team.
That's not too bad,
no.
but
not with what Goff and the GOAT Hecker did this week.
Yes, that's hard to beat that. Let me tell you. But this, like you say, this game was pretty even. It was just whoever made the last play, and the Rams did it.
Yeah.
The third-year guy in golf.
Yeah.
He done it. He took out the 18-year veteran this week.
Oh yeah, he was ready for Breeze this
Sean
week.
McVay, though, down there in Los Angeles, him and Goff have got it going on. They're going to be tough to beat for the next few years if they can keep the team together and keep rolling forward.
Right. Sean McVay, he's just an offensive mastermind. He had this figured out.
Yes, he's done a great job there. I'm surprised they didn't go last year, actually. They've been building down there, and they're doing a great job, I have to say.
And if they don't get it this year, the next year they're going to be really dangerous.
Yes, they're going to be mad and, coming for it.
On the Saints side of running the ball, you got Ingram going 9 for 31, and Kamara going 8 for 15. I don't know who had the other rush. Was it Taysom Hill?
I think so.
Let's see. Oh, you also had Zach Line going 1 for 4. Taysom Hill had 0 yards, and Drew Brees had -2 rushing yards.
Yeah, you should know Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
He's not one to run for a lot of yards.
You know, Drew Brees ain't scrambling all over the place.
Nah, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
His longest run was -1 yard.
Hey, that's
I guess the both runs was -1 yard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think he was just trying to get out of some trouble.
Oh yeah. The Saints ran for 48 yards as a team compared to the Rams, who ran for 77 yards as a team. I know.
But that goes to show you, that this week, just like in the prior weeks, the team with the most rushing yards has actually went on to win the game.
Yep. And I know the Rams didn't have much of a rushing attack this week, but they wanted to all go through the air. They still had more rushing yards and ran it harder.
And I'm actually, being a fan for so long of the NFL, I'm glad that running the ball still matters.
Yeah.
Even though the league has went to trying to throw the ball more, that running really still matters in the NFL.
Having a running back is important now, unlike it used to be a few years ago.
Right.
Let's see. That's about all we got for that. The Saints. Demario Davis, he was their one shining light on defense this week. He had 14 tackles, and he had a big interception early in the game. I think it was on the Rams' first drive, wasn't it?
I believe so, yes.
And there's nothing on the defensive side for the Rams, really, other than Johnson getting that big overtime interception.
But I just want to point this out. New Orleans went up 13-0 in the first quarter on this.
Yeah.
And I just think it's great that Goff could put that behind him and carry on and lead this team, on and eventually to win this game. I think that says a lot about him.
Yeah.
Him and McVay. They didn't give up going down early. They still continued to run the ball, and they didn't see no urgency, and they just let it play into their hands. I think they did a really good job.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just sitting here looking at the stats. I mean, everything is pretty much equal. I mean, they each had 19 first downs, 1 turnover each. The time of possession was 32-36 for the Rams and 30-41 for New Orleans. I mean, that's pretty much even.
That's all you can do. Just the yard discrepancy.
The yard discrepancy. It was Rams with 378, New Orleans with 290. But this was like I say, a pretty even game, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah, what Goff and McVay have done down there is pretty impressive. What Sean McVay himself has done is really impressive, taking Goff from probably a bust to NFC Championship quarterback. That
3 years,
yeah,
that says a lot.
That says a lot about what he's done. 2 years. It's his second year as head coach down there.
Oh, yeah.
Before that, it was Fisher.
Yeah, you're right. And you didn't hear much of Goff the first year.
No, it looked like he was going to be a bust.
And McVay picked him up, and look what they're doing. I just want to point out and start a debate on the pass interference that everybody's screaming about.
Yeah.
Are we in a time where maybe in the playoffs that we look to some sort of instant replay just during the playoffs to try to, get the player? Because Peyton said in his presser after the game that he had talked to the officials in New York, and they told him that they did mess up the call. It was not only a pass interference, but there was also a helmet-to-helmet that could have been called.
Yeah.
Could we, in the NFL, maybe, Sean Payton is on the committee, the player committee and everything. Could he maybe try to get something maybe like the college football has, maybe challenge
the
helmet-to-helmet at least,
Yep.
and maybe just during the playoffs try it out.
Or during the preseason, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm just,
the collective bargaining agreement's running out soon, I think after next year, right?
Yeah, and I dread it because the way I see it is they're far apart, the two sides. Unless something major happens between them, we might not have football for a while.
And this might be something they want to throw in there after what happened this week. I just want to say, even with that call, the Saints were up 13-0 at the end of the first quarter. They let the Rams come back. You can't blame that one play on your whole loss.
And you had to step up after that.
Yeah, they had another chance to get the ball.
Who says even if they'd have got that call, that they would have even scored?
That's right.
So I mean, how could you even argue that? I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying open for debate. Maybe down the road they might start looking at something to, I've heard in years past people say, well, maybe they need some type of replay just for the
penalties,
playoffs, just to get the calls right. But I'm with you. If that one call defines your whole game, then it's not meant for you to win.
Yeah, and also the Saints got the ball first in overtime. They drove down the field. It looks like they were going to score, and then Drew Brees threw that interception. So
I mean
you can't say much if you have the ball first in overtime. Just look at what the Patriots did. They didn't even give the Chiefs a chance.
They didn't look back.
They drove right down the field. Also for the Rams, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but the Greg Zuerlein went 4 for 4 with his kicks this week. He really meant a lot to what the Rams did.
Yeah, he's the MVP this week for him, if you ask me.
Yeah, especially hitting that big game winner in the Superdome.
I think it was 57?
57, yeah.
Yeah, that's a long kick. But at least it was indoors. But it's still a long kick, either way you look at it.
The Saints started out 13-0 at the end of the first quarter. The Rams scored 10 unanswered going into halftime. So the halftime score was 13-10. Then a big thing that happened early on was Goff got intercepted on his first drive. That'd have been enough to shut down a young quarterback, but he really fought through that interception.
And I could see McVay. The first thing that you could see when Goff was walking off the field, McVay was giving him eye contact and talking to him, letting him know that it's okay. This is a long game.
Yeah,
we're going to come back and we're going to keep going. Don't let this. And I think that's important for a young player coming off, that the coach has the faith and the confidence and the quarterback to tell them, hey, we're going to win. We're going to keep going. And then don't let this define you. We're going to keep going.
And the next time they didn't come out and run 3 straight times. They let him throw the ball again. They showed some faith in him. I'm sure that really made him feel good. A big play that happened, I believe it was before halftime, was the big punt fake with Johnny Hecker.
Hey.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah. I didn't see it coming on 4th and 3. I just thought they were going to punt the ball away and give the Saints some bad field position.
But McVay this year, though, the games that I've not watched all of them, but I've seen he's willing when the game's on the line. or you know what I'm saying, when
Yep.
he needs something to happen, he's willing to do
Yeah.
something to make it happen.
He's very aggressive on the offensive side of the ball, trying to get these first downs to
And I think more teams are starting to
do that.
start looking for offensive-minded coaches. You know, they're looking at McVay and
Yeah.
what he's doing there in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and they want to replicate it for their team.
Same thing that the Cardinals are doing right now, bringing in Kingsbury, an offensive mind that's brought a lot of NFL caliber quarterbacks through his college teams.
Yes.
Especially a big player that he has right now is Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
That's somebody that Kingsbury coached throughout college. Also, the Cardinals are looking at it like they have a young quarterback that's looking to be a bust, just like Jared Goff was. Why not bring in a quarterback specialist and try to bring him in, get him to the level that they have Jared Goff at now with Josh Rosen?
Right. I think he can do that. I
Yeah.
really do. Rosen I don't know. Wilkes just did not fit there.
not
he
that
needs
style.
somebody. Rosen needs an offensive-minded coach,
Yeah, and Wilkes is
and
not
Wilkes
that.
is
Yeah.
a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
And I think when you get a young quarterback like that,
You
you
gotta
really,
have
you got to have somebody offensive-minded.
If you're not going to have an offensive mind at head coach, you should really have an incredible offensive coordinator.
Yes, definitely.
Um,
Or an older quarterback,
Yes,
you know what
yes.
I'm saying?
yeah. Early on in the game as well, the Saints forced a 3-and-out and then immediately drove down the field and scored a touchdown. That was a big momentum shifter for them. But right after that, the Rams came out and just shut that all down and scored a touchdown following that.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a good job by the Rams.
Then at the end of the game, you had 3 field goals in a row. You had the Rams and then the Saints, and the Rams kicking one to tie the game. When the Rams kicked theirs, they were just throwing all over the Saints. They threw it over the
Yes.
top. There was 2 passes over 30 yards just on that one drive.
Right.
The Saints also did that. That was the pass to Ted Ginn that was like 50 yards down the field. He was wide open.
Ted Ginn, now he's known for that.
Yeah, he'll burn
he's
you.
speedy,
Yeah.
If he can catch the ball.
Yeah,
And with New Orleans this time, he's done
he's-
pretty good
yeah.
with catching. But in the past, he has had a problem with catching the ball.
Yeah.
But he's really done a good job.
Yep. And then the Rams hit the game tire with 15 seconds to go in the game. The Saints just came out and kneeled the ball out, take it to overtime. Big thing was the Saints were at, I think, the 50-yard line, somewhere around there. And then Drew Brees threw that interception to Johnson.
Had to kill you.
Yeah. The Rams didn't have very far to go. They didn't drive very far. I think it was like 18 yards, 20 yards.
Because if he made a
Yeah.
57-yarder, that
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
move far.
And then, of course, Zierlein hit that game winner. They tried to ice him, and he did the smartest thing you could ever do, not kicking the ball. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I actually believe that Hecker picked up the ball and ran away with it because he didn't want him to kick it.
Right, I don't blame
Yeah.
you. That's a jinx right there, I tell you. I'd like to know the stat on that,
Yeah.
though, of how many
Right.
kicks are missed when they actually try the first
Yeah.
one.
Yep. But I've seen him miss the first one and then end up hitting the second one.
Yes.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
I think that's it for the Rams and the Saints. You got anything else on that, Wilson?
No, I just think we've pretty much covered everything.
All right. So
I just want to throw something funny in there.
What's
There's
that?
this place in Louisiana offering free eye exams to the refs this off season.
for that missed pass interference call.
Yeah, for that missed call. I just
Yeah.
thought that was funny.
Yeah. But you were saying the same thing, that even if that flag was thrown, do the Saints still drive down the field and score a touchdown or kick a field
you can't
goal?
complain about that call.
Yeah.
I mean, you can complain about it, but if you had the ball first,
Yeah.
driving the ball, you should have scored,
Yeah, in overtime. Yeah.
and that call wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, at least a field goal. All right. So next up we have the Patriots and the Chiefs. This was also a great game.
It was a very good
Yeah.
game.
It was 37-31. It looked like it was running the same way as the Rams and the Saints did. Patriots drove straight down the field both times, 14-0 at half. But after the half, the Chiefs just came out and scored a touchdown.
I wouldn't say the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I would rather say Patrick Mahomes
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes came out and drove the team down the field very quickly.
I got Mahomes going 16 of 31 for 295 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was sacked 4 times for 46 yards.
Yeah.
Woo. What was that offensive line right there?
They didn't show up. But you couldn't ask much more out of Patrick Mahomes this week, other than like his percentage was barely over 50% for his completion rating. That's about the only thing you can change this week.
Right. And you could,
Yeah.
if
Give him
he
a run
could at
game.
least had a
Yeah.
run, some help.
Yeah.
Damian Williams had 10 carries for 30 yards.
Yeah.
He did have a touchdown. That is a bright spot.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
But last
his
week,
longest run was 10 yards. So if you minus that, he had 9 carries for what, 20 yards?
20 yards, yep.
I mean, that's
That's
pretty bad.
2 yards a carry.
And Mahomes had 2 carries for 11 yards.
so
He almost ran the ball almost
better than Williams did, yeah.
yes.
Williams, at least I expected big things out of him this week.
Yeah.
After coming out and running for 130 yards last week.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's always different playing the Colts than the Patriots.
yeah, Patriots used to. The Patriots really didn't have
Yeah.
a good defense, but
Right.
here the last couple of years they've stepped up and had pretty decent. So what you got for Tom Brady there?
He went 30 for 46, 348 yards. He had a touchdown, but he did have 2 interceptions.
Yeah, that's what I was discussing with you before we went
Yeah.
on the air.
Yeah.
If we just look at the completions, attempts, and
Yeah.
the touchdowns, it looked. I mean, the completion and
Yeah.
attempts and the yards, it looked like it was a blowout.
Yeah.
But once you add in the touchdowns and the interception, it
And
kind of,
Yeah.
you see where.
those big runs, the run game that the Patriots had this week is what got them.
Yeah, they.
I just want to say that what Brian Flores has done this year, calling the Patriots defensive plays, has been really impressive.
Yes.
From what I'm hearing and looking at on the internet, which is always reliable,
Right.
it's looking like the Dolphins are going to hire him as their head coach after the Patriots season is over.
Yeah, that's what I've heard
yeah.
also. Yes.
Yeah. And I think they're the only team that doesn't have a head coaching spot filled, right?
I believe. I'm not 100%, but I believe that's it.
Yep.
I believe they're just waiting on him.
Yeah. Yeah. Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions. It's not very Tom Brady-like. Especially the one on the 1-yard line. He was on the goal line and threw it right to, I think it was Reggie Ragland.
Yes, yeah. It's not like Tom Brady to
yeah.
throw interceptions.
No. Do the running game for the Patriots, because this is what won the game for the Patriots. Yeah, it's Sony Michel, as a rookie especially. Ran 29 times for 113 yards. He had 2 touchdowns.
I think he was the only running back this week to hit over 100 yards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is right. Burkhead, he went 12 for 44. He had 2 touchdowns. And then White, he came in and ran 6 times for 23 yards. I believe that's the only people that ran for the Patriots this week.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady,
That
yeah.
was a negative one.
That's
He's another Drew Brees there.
Drew Brees syndrome. Hey, he had a
Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead, though, they did have 2 running touchdowns each.
Yep.
I guess after he threw the ball on the 1-yard line interception, they went for the run, after that.
Yep. What you got for the running game on the? You already said the Chiefs side.
Yes.
Yep. Nothing is what we said.
Yeah. Pretty pitiful,
Yeah.
there. For the receiving, though, for Kansas City, I got Sammy Watkins going 4 receptions for 114 yards. Damian Williams. He wasn't. I guess he was more worried about catching than running this week. He had 5 receptions for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. He scored 3 of the. He scored 3 of the Chiefs' 4 touchdowns this week.
Tyreek Hill went 1 for 42. DeMarcus Robinson went 1 for 27. Travis Kelce, the tight end there, 3 for 23. Spence, he had 1 touchdown. Sorry. Spencer Ware, 1 catch for 21 yards, and Demetrius Harris, 1 catch for 2 yards.
Yeah.
That would put them as a team. They had 16 receptions for 295 yards.
What was the average on Mahomes' throws? Is it 18 and a half?
Yes.
18 and a half yards. That's almost 2 first downs for every 1 pass that he's getting.
Yes, he stepped up this week.
Yeah. I mean, especially you look at people like Watkins throwing 4 times for 114.
That's
catching
a nice
4 times.
average right there.
Yeah.
That's over 25 yards a catch.
Yeah.
I mean,
But we saw this 2 weeks.
28.5.
Yeah.
That's a great average.
Yeah, but we saw this a few weeks ago with I believe it was the Cowboys and the Seahawks, when Tyler Lockett had 4 catches for 120 yards. It just looked like their defensive backs didn't know what was going on with him. Just couldn't stop him. But Sammy Watkins had 2 of those throws were deep bombs, and then he just got it on the rest of he got it himself on the rest of those throws.
Right.
For the Patriots, though, you had Edelman go 7 for 96. I want to bring up this before I forget about it.
All right.
Is when Edelman muffed the punt. Well, he didn't muff the punt. We don't know if he touched it or not. But when the punt situation happened and they gave the ball back to the Patriots, the first thing they did when they threw to Edelman was he tipped it, and it was intercepted.
Right. But I just want to point out, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that point, the punt where he was supposedly buffed it or whatnot, I don't see how the officials overturned that call. I can't tell you whether he touched it or not, but I think under circumstances like that, you need to leave whatever's called on the field as stand as it is.
Yeah.
But you're right, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The first play, it bounced off his hands and was intercepted.
Yeah. But he got laid out. Did you see that hit?
Yeah. That's good old NFL.
That was fun to watch.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Then you had Gronkowski. He hadn't been a factor this postseason that much. He had 1 catch last week.
I know he had 1 great catch last
week. Yeah.
Last
night.
Yeah, he had a great catch. The guy was all over him, and he turned around and caught it. Yeah. And I think it was one of the drives. I can't remember exactly which one, but it was a beautiful catch.
It seems like when Gronk just catches the ball, nobody wants to tackle him.
No, that's a big guy. You know, he's probably bigger than most of your backs back there.
And then you got James White. He caught 4 passes for 49 yards. I don't know if I said that Gronk caught for 79 yards or not, but just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Chris Hogan had 5 catches for 45 yards. It seemed like he was catching a lot of passes late in the game to get the Patriots some first downs.
Yep.
Like that one that was on the sidelines that the Chiefs threw the challenge flag out for. They thought it touched the ground. That was just a good catch.
Yeah.
Philip Dorsett had 1 catch for 29 yards, and he had the 1 Brady touchdown this week. And Rex Burkhead had 4 catches for 23 yards. I just want to throw out the Russian stats as a team. The Patriots ran the ball as a team for 176 yards across all 4 people who ran the ball.
You want me to throw out the Kansas City Russian?
Let's go ahead and throw that out there.
12 carries for 41 big yards.
41 yards, yeah. And the Patriots ran the ball into the end zone 4 times this week. They were just putting themselves in good positions, getting down to the red zone, and then just handing the ball off.
And I think Rex Burkhead, though, on talking about New England, I know he had 12 carries for 41 yards, but he had some good runs during the game.
Oh, yeah.
Late in the game, he really did.
That speaks a lot. I noticed the Patriots, they were sending their fullback out there a lot, too, Devlin, sending him out there to throw some blocks.
That just amazes me how you can have 12 carries for 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's, it's critical runs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? When they got the ball, they were critical runs and scored.
And one thing I noticed while watching the game is that Gronkowski, he was tearing some defenders up in the run game. Like nobody was getting past Gronkowski on the outside.
Right. He was.
Yeah. He's a solid run blocker.
Right. Mahomes did have 1 fumble, but it wasn't lost.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw a stat out there.
Yep. The Chiefs' defense, Sorensen.
Oh, let's talk about defense. Where was the defense?
Yeah. Let's talk about these interceptions real quick. First, you got the Reggie Ragland interception early in the game when the Patriots went down to the 1 yard line and decided to throw the ball. They should know that you don't throw the ball on the 1 yard line.
Right. Who was it? Seattle?
Seahawks against the Patriots.
I think they could tell you a big story about that one.
Yeah. And then also Sorensen, he had the interception towards the end of the game that was tipped by Edelman after that muffed punt.
Right.
That was what happened after that. What you got on this defense, Wilson?
So I just want to run through the New England defense, just some stats here. New England had 4 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 2 quarterback pressures, and 10 quarterback hits.
10 hits.
I mean, whoo, that's
They're good.
Mahomes being young, and getting hit that much, But Mahomes, I mean, he did a great job.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about how great of a job he did. I mean, he did lose, but he didn't lose by himself. This defense. I mean, the Kansas City, listen to this defense. No sacks.
Yeah.
No tackles for loss.
Yep.
4 quarterback pressures and 1 quarterback hit.
Yeah.
And you leave Tom Brady, and that I'm surprised Tom Brady threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean,
with all the time
defense,
he had,
I'm surprised he threw 2 interceptions. It wasn't the defense.
Yeah.
He made mental errors in throwing the ball.
Yeah.
It has to be with stats like this.
Well, he made the one mental error. The other one was completely on Edelman. That went right through his hands. Yeah.
I mean, your quarterback takes that stat, but it's not the quarterback's fault. I see it all the time where it hit a defender and it hits you in the hands. You got to catch it. Got to.
Yeah, or at least knock it down. Don't tip it up into the air. The most dangerous thing you can do as a receiver is tip the ball up in the air.
Right. I want to point this out.
All right.
I know New England did win, but there was a defining moment in this game.
What's that?
When it was 4th quarter, 54 seconds to go in the game. This was a 3rd and 10. And the ball got intercepted by Ward. But you know what? D Ford was lined up offside.
Yeah.
If D Ward would have been on the right side of the line, this game would have ended 31-24.
Yeah.
And the Kansas City Chiefs today would have been going
to Super Bowl
in 2
weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
I see right here, just popped up on ESPN, that Andy Reid even agreed that he was lined up offsides, but he's saying that usually the refs tell the head coach to get their player back on sides before they throw the flag.
I've
never heard that, but Andy Reid's been a head coach a long time. I'm sure he's seen a lot of things.
Yes.
But if you're offside, you're offside.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't
It,
whine and complain now. Because, I mean, like we was talking about with the other game, you can't let one call define your game. Because they could have stepped up. This defense could have stepped up.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, they scored, what, 13 points after this point?
Yeah.
They scored 13 points after that. Why couldn't the defense step up and stop them? I mean,
the Chiefs scored 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, and the Chiefs scored 14. That was the score.
The Patriots scored 14 in the fourth
I'm
quarter.
sorry about that. Yeah.
Mahomes
We really
went out there
don't
and
even need to watch the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Could have just watched the fourth quarter and
it told you
been
everything.
completely entertained.
I just got a few of just a little summary of what happened through the game. Just,
All right, go ahead and run it to us.
First time, Pats got the ball to start the game. They drove downfield immediately. It was like nothing.
Right.
It looked like it was just going to be another 43-40 game like they played earlier this season.
Right. Yes.
It almost turned out to be that.
I know it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Mahomes, it would have been.
It would have been a blowout. Then the Patriots drove the ball down again, got to the 1 yard line, and of course this is when Brady threw the 1 yard interception.
Right.
It looked like Ragland was trying to run it out of the end zone and try to make a run for it, but he eventually changed his mind when he got to the sideline.
He seen them big guys coming for him.
He knew he wasn't going to make it very far. And then right before the half, the Patriots drove 90 yards. They drove 90 yards. Like,
that's what I'm saying. The Kansas City defense, I think they need to spend some money and try to get a defense.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
but what I've been seeing online, again, online's most reliable source, seeing that the Chiefs are planning on signing Mahomes to the biggest contract extension.
I was going to point that out. Yeah, $200 million. The first quarterback to reach it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but no quarterback is worth 200. I mean, that's just, how are you going to have any other players?
Yeah. But if you look at it, you got, without Mahomes, what have the Chiefs done today? What would they have done yesterday?
Right.
They wouldn't have scored 31 points. If it was Alex Smith, they'd have 10 points this week.
Still, it's not, to me, it wouldn't be worth that amount of money.
Yeah.
But what, talking about that, Andy Reid, what happens with Andy Reid now?
Yeah.
Does he come back?
I'm sure he'll get another year.
Go a different way? Or?
It's hard to find coaches like Andy Reid. It's kind of like the Marvin Lewis syndrome.
Right.
They're always good. Their teams always win games. Right. They always make the playoffs. But once they get there, it's like they forgot how to coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I guess defense was thinking about going to the KFC.
Yeah. Man.
It was the KFC championship because they surely didn't show up for this game.
Yeah. And then it was halftime. Coming out of halftime, the Chiefs got the ball. They drove down the field in 4 plays. It took them 4 plays to get a touchdown coming out of halftime. The one big one was the Sammy Watkins 54-yard pass that led to the touchdown. Then the Chiefs punted the ball later on, and it was just a terrible punt, seemed like. And the Patriots got the ball at the 37-yard line.
Yeah.
They ran 3 plays and then just kicked the field goal.
Right.
They were already in field goal range when they got there. Damian Williams, coming out of the next drive, I believe, he caught a big pass, 33 yards. That led to a touchdown catch for him. Then the Patriots, they went for it on a lot of 4th downs this week. They had a lot of 4th and shorts, and they went for it. They had the turnover on downs where, I can't remember who they gave the ball, but he tried to jump over.
He didn't get there.
Yeah. He jumped over the defense, and the defense just completely stopped him in his tracks.
I think they had 2 that they missed. But I
was
could
it
be
2?
Wrong. I thought it was, but I couldn't be.
I know it was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But then the Chiefs did absolutely nothing with that next drive. They just punted the ball after that. That's something where you get a lot of momentum. You got to do something with that.
I mean, looking at I don't mean to throw you off track, but I just want to throw out these for you. Total yards, New England, 524. Kansas City, 290.
Yeah, 290.
New England had the 2 turnovers. First down, New England had twice as many first downs. New England had 36. Kansas City had 18. And this whopping, I mean, it's not even the. New England had over twice as much time of possession. New England had 43 minutes and 59, almost 44 minutes. And Kansas City had the ball for 20 minutes and 53 seconds. That's pitiful. This game shouldn't even have been close.
Yeah.
And without Patrick Mahomes, this game wouldn't have been close because he didn't have no run game. Yeah. He didn't have no defense.
No.
I mean, it's pitiful.
Yeah. It just seemed like the Patriots got to play for 3 quarters, and then they gave the Chiefs the ball for a quarter and say, "Here you go."
Yeah, here you go. So, and Patrick Mahomes, I don't mean to just point out him because he had to have the receivers, but him and that receiving core did an excellent job.
Yeah. And then, like I was saying, you had the punt that we don't know if it was muff or not.
Right.
The Chiefs picked it up, but Edelman didn't even try to run after it. It's like he knew that he didn't touch it or something like that.
Yeah, they pointed that out too. Yeah.
But they called it for the Chiefs. They said that it was muffed and that the Chiefs got it. They spent what felt like 10 to 15 minutes just looking at replays.
I mean, if you got to look that hard, there ain't no way. And the way the rule is written, it has to be undisputable visual evidence.
Yes.
And I don't know anybody that can tell me that either he did touch it or either he didn't touch it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, whatever that call was on the field should have stood to me.
Yeah. But then they come out of that, and it felt like the Chiefs just got the ball right back. They intercepted the ball 2 plays later. A big play late in the game was that roughing the passer call, where the Chiefs were trying to get grass out of Brady's helmet, it looked like.
Yeah.
Just trying to brush it off of him.
They were just trying to give him some air, it looked like.
Scrubbed his face mask.
I don't even think they scrubbed the face mask. I mean, it was a bad call.
Yeah.
I know they had one on Mahomes, too. It was the same way. Yeah. It was no way it was roughing the passer.
At least Mahomes got up and limped around, making it looked like he limped around. And then when the refs turned around, he was just walking normal. Yeah. And the refs looked at him again, and he was limping again.
Yeah, sometimes you got to sell it.
It's show business.
And that's what they do in the NBA these days.
Yeah. Then you had the Patriots got the ball back. What's that?
I just wanted to say right here on these penalties, Kansas City had New England had 6 penalties for 61 yards.
Yeah.
And Kansas City had 4 penalties for 28 yards.
Yeah. But 15 of those yards was the roughing the passer call.
For both of them, yes. Actually, I think New England had 2 roughing the passer penalties.
Yeah.
They had one where he brushed the face mask.
Yeah.
And then they had one where they went for his legs.
Yeah, that's where they that was what was next, is that they had the pass interference call at the same time they had the roughing the passer call. So they declined the roughing the passer call, but took the defense pass interference call that time.
All right, that's
that also led to another Watkins 40-yard pass that got them all the way down the field, and then that's when Williams ran his 1 touchdown in.
Right.
Following that, you had Burkhead score a touchdown, and then Butker kicked the field goal to tie the game, 31-31 at the end of the game.
And I think Harrison Butker, man, what a kicker, man.
Yeah.
He's done a great job in Kansas City. You know, me personally, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan.
Yeah.
I hated we got rid of him. I disagreed with that decision when it first happened.
Yeah.
I think they should have went away from Gano and kept Butker. But
Yeah.
I'm glad he got somewhere. And that's just like for Los Angeles.
Yeah. Zero line.
No, the running back.
Running back Gurley or Anderson?
Anderson.
Yeah.
He was in Carolina. And, I didn't want him to get rid of him, but I wanted him to go somewhere where he was going to play.
Yeah.
Because he was never going to play in Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Carolina's a finesse run,
Yeah. Well, toss the ball to McCaffrey and see what he can do.
Yes, but I'm glad he's somewhere where he can play.
Yeah.
So that's just what I wanted to point out.
Then they went out for the coin toss for overtime.
Hey, and New England did what they won, just kept winning
Yeah.
at everything.
New England won the coin
They
toss.
couldn't even lose the coin toss.
And that dude for the Patriots was so excited, you could hear him screaming how excited he was to get the ball.
I want the ball.
Yeah.
Or we want the ball,
Yeah.
I think is what he said.
Patriots didn't even give the Chiefs a chance in
No,
overtime.
they just drove
Yeah.
it. They just drove it. It's like execution.
Just right down the field.
Yeah.
It looked like nobody's putting pressure on Brady.
Nobody's
Nobody's putting pressure on those receivers. They were just getting 10-yard pass after 10-yard pass.
And I want to point this out. Now, there was people on these receivers.
Yeah.
But they were fantastic throws and fantastic catches. And they were catches. Tom Brady put them balls to where only his receivers could get them.
Yep.
And he done an excellent job there.
Yep. And then that ended up with Burkhead running the 2-yard touchdown in there at the end.
He's done. I know he didn't have a lot of yards,
but
Burkhead, but he did a really good job when he needed to get in there.
It seems like they put him in only in key situations. They take Michelle out and put in Burkhead to get some big runs.
It's good to have a little diversity in your running.
Yeah.
Have different type of running backs.
Yeah, Burkhead's been in the league a long time.
Yes.
So you can rely on him in key situations like that.
And don't fumble, that's something important, to keep possession of the ball.
Yep. And that ended the Patriots game, sending them to the Super Bowl, ended the Chiefs season. But defense just couldn't execute.
I just want to put this out there. It ain't about stats or nothing, but this is Mahomes' second season. He'll probably be back with, I think, Mahomes and Goff.
Yeah.
I think that's really the future of the NFL, and it looks pretty bright with them too.
But if Tom Brady does win the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I'm not saying now whether that's who I predict or not.
Yeah.
But if he does win the Super Bowl, does he come back for 20?
Who's that?
Brady.
Brady?
If he wins the Super Bowl this season, does he come back for 20?
He doesn't
This
seem.
is his 19th year.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's ready to give it up yet.
I know.
Seems like he's got a few more years in him. I'd say he'd come back unless something happens to Belichick. I don't think he wants to play for another head coach.
Right.
They're talking about getting rid of Belichick. There's some rumors going around saying they don't know if the Patriots going to keep him after this year.
Well, who's their offensive coordinator?
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, that's now. You know, he had the job last year
with the Colts. Yeah,
with the Colts, and he took it.
but
And then he changed his mind. Now I think this is just speculation, but I think the Patriots, the office,
Yeah.
has promised him a job
Yeah.
for when Belichick leaves.
I'm
I
sure
think
he'll
that's
be the
why he
Patriots
come
head
back.
coach. Yeah, he'll be the Patriots head coach after Belichick leaves. But it didn't turn out too bad for the Colts. They brought in Frank Reich, and he led them to the playoffs.
Yes.
After that 1-5 start that they had to begin the season. Yeah,
it was amazing after 1-5 that they stayed together.
that means a lot for Luck. Luck is who led that team.
Luck has done a good job. When Luck first had his injury and he came back fast, I thought that was the end of Luck. I said he'll never be like he was.
Yeah.
But after he took the year and a half off, and then he come back, he's done a good job since. He's done a real good job.
Yep.
This season he's done a good job.
And they also fixed what the Colts' main problems were coming into these past few seasons they drafted that offensive lineman. He's a beast, Quentin Nelson. He's just running over everybody.
And just to point it out, like we was talking earlier in the show, that teams are going for offensive. Frank Reich's offensive. He was a quarterback.
Yep.
So he's offensive minded.
Yep. Also, the Colts brought in Leonard, who was probably defensive rookie of the year this year. Should be in the race for overall rookie of the year. Then you got Luck, and you got Marlon Mack behind him, who's running good this year. It looks like the Colts might be somebody to look out for next season too.
Right, especially in the AFC.
Yeah. That South is going to be tough next year with the Titans and the Colts and the Texans.
Yes.
And the Jaguars, if they can fix their quarterback situation. That's going to be a tough division next year.
It is. Might actually see 2 or 3 come out of that division next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
2 or 3 teams. You know, it's tough.
But I also see that I was just looking at it last year, and I was like, I wonder who Mahomes' draft class was. Who was the other quarterbacks in his draft class? And that was a stellar draft class for quarterbacks. All 3 quarterbacks taken in the first round are starters somewhere.
Right.
I believe it was Mitchell Trubisky. He was the first quarterback taken in the draft.
He's at Chicago.
Yeah, he led Chicago to the playoffs this year. And then you had Deshaun Watson in Houston, who led the Texans to the playoffs
this year.
Yeah,
I think they made the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
yes. And they made the playoffs last year even after he got hurt.
Right.
These were some good draft classes that these guys were in.
Right. Sometimes you got to sit back and wonder what happens to these quarterbacks, especially some, like, let's just look back at Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He was taken, 6th round?
Yeah, 199.
And look at where these quarterbacks was that they took before him.
Yep.
Half of them most of them probably ain't even in the league anymore.
Yeah, I doubt anybody's in the league with him anymore.
I mean, and he was taken the 6th round. So, you can find these quarterbacks. Sometimes they don't even get a chance, somewhere. They're just set on somebody's second or third string, maybe practice squad, and don't ever get the chance. And maybe sometimes you can find a gem there. Look at Tom Brady. Like you say, he might come back for his 20th year. Go ahead.
Probably the
if he
greatest
wins
ever,
this year, he'll have 6 Super Bowl rings?
6 Super Bowl rings, yep.
And that's
more than anybody
a 6th
ever.
round pick right there, so you don't never know.
That's all we got for the games this week, but I know Wilson has some news ready for you.
Yeah, I want to just look. This morning, I think it was, the NFL announced that they're going to have 5 international games coming up this next year. They're going to have 1 in Mexico City and 4 in London. Now, the game that they have in Mexico City, I think is a rematch from the game they were supposed to have there last year, but they didn't have it because of the field conditions.
Oh,
I think it's an Aztec something.
Yes, Temple,
Field
Azteca,
or something. You know, I don't know the correct name of it, but they're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be at Mexico City, but it's going to count for a Los Angeles Chargers home game.
Oh, I think it was the Rams that were supposed to play in Mexico City. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're going to have Chicago Bears at Oakland Raiders in London. They're going to have the Cincinnati Bengals at L.A. Rams in London. They're going to have the Houston Texans at Jacksonville Jaguars in London. And the Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers in London.
Yeah.
You know what that means for me, don't you?
What's that mean for
I'm
you?
going to have to get up early one Sunday and watch this game.
You ready for this 9:30 start time, Wilson?
I don't know. I'm going to have to get up early.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out that this is the fourth game for the Rams in London.
Yep.
And let me tell you, them Jags,
Yeah.
they're no stranger to the London.
Yeah.
This is their 7th straight home game in London.
Yeah.
7 straight home games in London. Ooh.
They're probably going to end up being the franchise that moves to London permanently.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think London and Mexico may one day be franchises in the NFL?
I don't feel like Mexico will be, because it never seems like Mexico can get their field ready. The grass just doesn't grow in Mexico the way they want it to. But London, it seems like they're going all in on franchises in London, trying to expand the NFL to more than just the Americas.
And especially, I think this year more than the others, they have 4 games there this season. So that's pretty much almost half of the season what you would have, teams traveling there and you back and forth if you had a team there.
Yep.
So I think that you're going to see how this works.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at this morning, and it's saying that plus all 31 teams, or not all 31 teams, but 31 teams in the NFL have played a game in London in the past 10, 12 years since they started in 2007. The only team that hasn't played a game in London is the Packers, I believe. But other than that, every team has played in London. It seems like everybody loves when they go and play in London.
The Carolina Panthers. But what worries me, though, with doing this is how are you going to work around the Monday night, the Thursday night, and the late Sunday night, Then we're dealing with that travel and, I think eventually they're going to have to do away with the Thursday night games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
nobody likes
them. And then if you're incorporating this is a lot of traveling, what I'm saying? Especially if you got to crowd travel across country and play in a Thursday night game either a week before or a week after.
Yeah.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
And I think with we was talking about the player bargaining agreement. I think that's one thing that's going to be installed. They're going to do away with the Thursday night
games,
because they talk about they're so worried about player safety, but then they're going to require you to play on Thursday night and give
3
you
days rest. Also, there are a few problems with bringing a team to London. One of the things is like the passport situations.
Right.
Not every player in the league is going to qualify for a passport.
Right.
There are some of them with history of like legal issues.
Right.
So they're not going to qualify for trips to London. Sending players to London to live full time, that's going to mess up like tax brackets and stuff like that.
Would you incorporate all their people in their team? Use London people?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah.
Just to form their own team there and play against their teams here?
I don't feel like that'd be fair. I mean, most people here are bred to play football their entire life. We're going into an era where it seems like athletes are having children together and breeding them to be athletes when they grow up.
Right.
You see it with Patrick Mahomes. His dad was a baseball player, and his mom, I believe, was a track star.
And if you look at, I don't mean to keep pointing out Carolina, but Christian McCaffrey, his dad was a wide receiver in the NFL for the Denver Broncos, and his mother was a track star.
Yeah. It just seemed like they're bred to come out and play football.
Right.
So, yeah, you got that problem, but you also got the legal issues. You got the tax issues, but you also have a problem with travel. It just doesn't seem, it seems like an unfair advantage to send a team out there Saturday morning and have them ready to play the Sunday afternoon, traveling across the Atlantic and everything like that. So I would feel like if you were to bring a team in London, then you'd have to set up travel arrangements for, say, like that Monday morning and send them over there for a whole week to get them ready.
Yeah, get them accustomed to the time change.
To the
and
London time,
everything,
yeah.
yes.
And so that means you'd have the home team would have to, I believe, provide a training facility for the away team.
Right.
So that's an extra facility you have to build there on top of, I'm sure Wembley's not going to let you play every game there.
Right. So you're going to find somebody somewhere else to play.
Yeah, you got to build a stadium, you got to build a practice facility, and you got to allow for that other team to come and practice in your facility.
Build two practice facilities, one for your home team and one for your visiting team.
So if you can get around all those issues, then I doubt there'd be a problem. But other than that, it seems like NFL really wants a team there.
I don't see how that could work, really. Unless you just had their people. I don't mean to use that term, but London
the
people,
English,
the English to form their own team and provide the players for their own team.
Yeah.
And then I could see maybe something like that working.
Yeah.
See, like you say, it's going to be hard finding a place, and then every week a team coming over there, or you going away. I just don't see how that would work.
Yeah. And then the other thing they'd have to do is if they don't move Jacksonville over there, which seems like the only franchise that would really fit over there. There are a lot of Jacksonville fans in England for.
Right. I mean, they've been there seven straight times.
It's the only team that they know is a home team. Yeah.
Right.
So you got that. Unless you bring in an expansion team, and the NFL, the Owners Association, all the owners plus Goodell, they've shown no interest in bringing in extra franchises unless it suits them financially.
I believe David Tepper, instead of buying the Panthers, would have brought his own team in.
An extra franchise, yes.
But I don't think that they're looking for that right now.
Yeah. And then you'd have to bring in, I believe, you'd have to bring in two at least.
Right.
Which would probably be London and Mexico City.
That's why I was pointing at Mexico City, since they're the two places.
Yeah.
I could see Mexico City actually working.
Yeah, I think Mexico City fits better than London does.
If they would get their field situation corrected.
Yeah.
I could see Mexico City fitting in better than London. But like you said, that would have to have two teams because one just wouldn't work. With the way that they got situated, you know what I'm saying?
Also, the one fix for Mexico City is build a dome. Build a dome and put turf in.
Right.
That's the biggest fix for that.
I mean, that's what most stadiums now are going to.
Yeah. Everybody's making that bid for a Super Bowl.
Yes. Because if it gives you something inside and a nice facility, you got a good chance of getting one.
But yeah, that's...
I think the last few Super Bowls has been in domes. Am I wrong? I can't remember the last one that was outside.
Where was the Super Bowl last year?
Wasn't it in Louisiana?
Was it the Superdome?
I thought, but I could be wrong.
I believe that is correct.
I think it was in the Superdome. Last year or the year before. I could be wrong there.
Let's see. Last year was at Minnesota Stadium.
That's right, Minnesota.
And
year before that, was it in Louisiana?
I'm checking.
I know it was a few years ago because I remember the power went out.
Yeah, that was
maybe it's further back.
Yeah, further back. Before that it was in NRG Stadium. I think that's Texan Stadium.
Yeah, I think so.
If I'm not incorrect.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
Before that, it was in Levi's. That was outdoor. That was San Francisco's new stadium.
All right.
Yeah.
So the third one to go.
Yeah. It seems like they just want to put them straight in.
Yeah, because you don't have to worry about the outside elements affecting. You don't never know when it might rain, snow, or something like that.
It looks like 3 out of the next 4 Super Bowls are also going to be in domes, outside of 2021 where it's going to be in Tampa Bay.
When is it going to be at the Los Angeles?
2022.
2022. Okay. That's going to be a beautiful stadium or the beautiful dome.
Yeah.
I've seen there's going to be a shopping mall and all kinds of stuff there. It's going to be.
That's also that's not only the Rams stadium, but I believe it's going to be the Chargers stadium too.
Yeah,
Aren't they
I believe
sharing?
so. Yeah, they're going to share it.
So.
When is Oakland moving to Las Vegas?
I believe if it's not this next season, then it'll be the season after that. It's coming up. But
so Davis will try to push for a dome there to host the Super Bowl.
I think that's it. That all the news you got, Wilson?
That's all the news I got for this week.
That's all the news I got.
We're going to do our picks.
Oh, yeah,
for
picks.
the Super Bowl.
Who you picking, Wilson?
Rams and New England.
That's a good pick,
Sorry.
Wilson. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I can't go against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. I mean, they've been together for a while there.
Yep. It's the only head
they
coach.
figured out they're putting pressure right now. Like, this week, they've just. I mean, looking at before the season, I think I mentioned this before we went on the air. Before the season, I think when we looked at all the playoff teams, New England looked like the worst team.
Yeah, they looked like the weakest team.
The weakest team to make the playoffs. But I can't. I have to pick. I have to pick them to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They've been there too many times. Goff is good.
Yeah.
And he's young, and he's going to have his chance. I just don't think it's this year.
Yeah. It just seems like if the Rams can get the ball running, then it's going to be close. It's going to be very tight.
I believe it's going to be a close game. But
anybody can win it. But the way the Patriots are running the ball this year, the way their defense is playing this year, and then you saw what Brady did this week. It's just you can't go against the Patriots right now.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I don't like the Patriots myself.
Yeah.
But I can't pick against them in this game.
Yeah. I just saw this stat right here. In the regular season, the Patriots were 3-5 in away games.
Wow.
Yeah. They were 11-5 this season, which means they went 8-0 in Gillette, but 3-5 in road games.
And you wanted to point this out that the road teams won this week.
Both road teams won this week. Yeah, both number 2 seeds. The Chiefs were 7-1 at home in playoff games before this. Yeah, it's hard to believe that. It seems like home field advantage is starting to become a very real thing.
Right, it does. Yeah. And they're not even only in the playoffs. It's the regular season.
Yeah. Like you see the Patriots going 3-5 in away games. The Chiefs going 7-1 in home games. The Patriots going 8-0 in home games.
Right.
It just means something to have your games in your home stadium now.
Because it's loud and sometimes you got to go to unfavorable places, up north.
Yeah.
Deal with the snow and the cold weather.
Yeah, that they're always prepared for.
Right.
Like how loud was the Superdome this week?
McVay said, I believe he said in his post game that it was the loudest he had ever heard.
Yeah.
That it was actually hurting his ears inside of the dome, that it was that loud.
I've been inside the dome. It does get really loud. And usually you can't hear how loud they get through the TV, but you could hear it this week, how loud they were. They really wanted Saints to win this week.
Right, but just didn't have it. I mean, the Saints, usually they make it, and then they mess it up somewhere in the playoffs. They're good at making it. Now, I think Breeze does have one Super Bowl, right?
Yes, so. The one in 2009.
Yes.
It's been 10 years, and it looked like everything was lining up the way their last one did. The same 3 teams beat the Saints this year that beat them in 2009. When they got to the NFC Championship, they were going into overtime, and I believe it was Aikman that threw out the fact that their last NFC Championship game also went to overtime. It was just looking like the Saints were just lining it up exactly the same.
Drew Brees, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But I do know Drew Brees, I don't know if we pointed this out when we was going over the game, but Drew Brees did say he was coming back.
Yes, yeah.
He said it was in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
That he was making this announcement.
Yeah.
But he does think he will come back.
Yeah, that
now, earlier in the season, I thought that Drew Brees was going to retire because I think the Saints went in when he signed Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
They was going into all or nothing mode.
They were going all in for him. Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? To just, but I guess he'll be back.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like he's ready to give it up. He don't look like he's ready to give it up.
And I thought another reason I thought he might retire is for Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I think that will be the next quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
They're breading him and they're doing the right thing. Yeah. They're leaving him under somebody like Drew Brees.
Yep.
You say what you want. I'm an MC. I'm, like I pointed out, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan. But Drew Brees has been an awesome quarterback through the years. He might not have the Super Bowls to prove it, but he's had a lot of good accomplishments in his career. A lot of passing record, you know what I'm saying, and all that. He's done a good job.
Yeah. Nobody throws the ball like Brees does.
And he's just never had a defense.
Or a run game.
Yeah, he's all been on his shoulders.
But
and that's what I hope Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes will do.
Yeah.
Get a good, running back. Keep it going.
Yeah, and it seemed like, well, it didn't seem like the stat was that the Chiefs had the 31st ranked overall defense this year, which means that they really need to step up their defense.
Instead of paying Patrick Mahomes $200 million, they need to work on that defense.
He seems like he's the type of quarterback that's willing, like Tom Brady, take a pay cut.
Now Tom Brady is great for that.
Yeah, take a pay cut so your team can win.
If Tom Brady wanted the money, he could go anywhere. There is not a team that would not sign Tom Brady. Yeah, I don't think.
And he'd make the $200 million that Patrick Mahomes is going to make.
Right.
But I believe he's the 21st highest paid quarterback in the league.
Right.
And he's probably the best quarterback ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's somebody that's willing.
It's very selfless.
Yeah. And it takes winning over money. Yeah. And that's something to be commended on.
Yeah. I did see. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Kareem Hunt is drawing a lot of interest from a lot of teams. It seems like this coming into this offseason. Of course, Kareem Hunt, he's caught on video kicking a woman. Right. A lot of things came out about it. What he did was wrong.
Right. But I think, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
If there's anybody in there that said they ain't made a mistake, then they're lying.
Yeah.
I think if he, does what he's supposed to, if he takes some anger management classes,
like he has been,
and and continue to do the things he needed, I believe he deserves a second chance.
Well, it was
but
reported,
it would have to be somebody willing to step out, like
Carolina did with Eric Reed.
I don't want to point that out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But somebody willing to take that chance on them.
Yeah. It's reported that he goes to anger management daily, not even weekly. He's going every day to anger management classes. His therapists are saying that he's doing really great. The only reason he's even getting a look right now is because how good he was with Kansas City. Like back when Ray Rice did what he did, nobody even gave him a look.
Right.
But he was on the decline. But Kareem Hunt was a great player before everything happened.
I don't know if you've seen this. I don't mean to change the subject on you. But an analyst on, I think it was the NFL Network. I can't even remember his name. Yeah. But somebody got injured, and he's 40 years old. And he said that teams were calling him to see if he was, I think it was Trent Dilfer or somebody like that.
Yeah.
That they was calling him, seeing if he was able to play. Yeah. And you got Colin Kaepernick ready to, to play, but the teams are passing over him.
Yeah, I saw reports that he'd fit well in Carolina if Cam sits this season. David Tepper has shown that he's not afraid to make moves like that.
But if Cam sets this year, I think
our team is in good hands with Kyle Allen.
Yeah, but according to this last interview, Tepper is not good with that.
Yeah,
he's not good with Kyle Allen.
Oh, he don't like Kyle Allen?
No. even though he has done a good job.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
I would be willing to do that.
Yeah.
But I believe it would be Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Just because the time that he was good in Minnesota, it was with the offensive coordinator, North Turner.
Yeah, what he's shown with even New Orleans. I know he didn't look great in the one game he played, but that was against a Carolina team with something to prove.
Right. They was fighting for their jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Ron Rivera's fighting for his job.
Yes. But I just want to point this thing in Carolina out. The interview with Tepper said he would be all right with Cam sitting out a year.
Yeah.
Okay, if he's going to say that, then he has to be all right with Ron Rivera and Marty Herney
staying another
year if he's going to be okay with Cam sitting out.
Yeah.
You can't have Cam sitting out and have a bad year and then blame it on them. Them. You know.
Yeah, I agree with that. So
you have to look at that also.
Yeah. I believe that's all the news we have. Is that all the news you got, Wilson?
Yeah, that's all I got for this week.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening to another week. I hope it made it a little bit more interesting with Wilson. We'll see you in 2 weeks with another review. I'm gonna try to put more content on there outside of just reviews.
All you're gonna have is just that one game.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you letting me come on and doing my little views, and I hope you bring me back again.
Of course.
Let me share with the viewers my little opinion on things.
Yeah. Wilson will be back in 2 weeks for the Super Bowl.
Appreciate it.
Yep. So I appreciate everybody for watching. And
did you make your Super Bowl pick?
Oh, no, I'm picking the Patriots in case I haven't said that yet. Their run game is just too strong right now. Sony Michel's running all over the place.
Right. Burkhead stepping up when he needs, yes.
And then Tom Brady throwing for 350. On top of that, I think the Patriots ran 90 plays this week.
Yeah, they had the great time of possession. I mean, ball twice as long. I mean, that's great. Hard to lose the ball when you got it for twice the time.
Oh, yeah. So, I think that's it this week. That's my prediction. We'll see you in 2 weeks with another review. Hopefully we have other stuff up before that. And thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you very much.